Hello world, welcome to a new video on this channel, Luis of Ecuador, in which I talk about Ecuador things, events, news, and well, I've been lost for a little while because many things have happened. This time I'm recording this for a little bit shortly to give an update. And I'm doing this from Ecuador, of course, but from the Pacific Ocean. Salinas. I had to come here to work and I brought a friend from Cuenca. Abdul.
Hello.
I haven't made a video in 2 weeks, over 2 weeks now, and I should have done one on October 22nd or October 23rd when the strike, the paro ended. We had a long holiday. We've been through so many things now, and well, it's Ecuador, so we are always through so many things. But personally, I've been busy also with babies. That keeps me busier, and I wanted to let you know that the paro ended. That's one thing. But yeah, you may want to know more about how it ended. Well, the leader of CONAIE, Marlon Vargas, the president of CONAIE, Confederation of Indigenous Nationalities of Ecuador, he called to end the strike because the government had announced they will attack or that they would act with more force. So to stop a big tragedy from happening or to continue happening, he decided or he called to stop the paro. And well, the government didn't give in anything. The president, Daniel Noboa, just kept saying we are not going to give in anything and we are keeping our measures, or the measures we took, we're not changing anything. So the subsidies to diesel, that ended. They're giving money to the professional drivers, bus drivers, trucks for a few months now. That will remain for a while. So the prices of transport are still like stable. But the subsidies already will end, or they ended actually for the person that has a car with diesel. They just have to keep paying the price without subsidy or without the full subsidy because it will keep increasing. Then they say it will reduce because the international prices will decrease. You never know, I mean, for sure. Let me show you around a little bit. So, politically speaking, in a way, the government won because they resisted. But on the other hand, it was a problem because they acted in indigenous communities with people that didn't have guns, didn't have weapons. They sent so much force, the army, the police, that they don't send to the areas where the real gangs are, where the criminals are. Hello. So that was badly seen by people, like, why isn't the government attacking where they have to attack? But well, the people that support the government just support him even more now because he resisted against the paro. The former presidents that tried to do something against the paro, they couldn't. They actually had to give him something, and the indigenous people won in the end, but this time not. It was a loss for the country, of course, and especially for the areas of the north. For the provinces of Imbabura and Carchi, it was a big loss, especially for Imbabura. And there was a big holiday, the longest holiday of the year after the carnival holiday was 4 days of holiday, and the people that were in these areas that didn't work, were not able to work during 31 days, they wanted to recover something. And well, they didn't get as good results as possible. Remember that they were blocked by indigenous leaders of the different communities, and they couldn't work, they couldn't open their stores. There were even burned cars, burned trucks in the highway of people who wanted to work. It was very violent, it was wild. And some people outside these areas, they don't want to go to these areas that are very touristic. I'm talking especially about Otavalo, Cotacachi, Indigenous areas where I know many people that were in tourism and wanted to keep working but couldn't. And now they're suffering double. First, because they couldn't work. And secondly, because there are people who don't want to go to these areas. They say, no, we're not going to these areas because these people attacked our rights, so we're not going to support them. They blocked or they wanted to block the country, so we're not going to give them any money. So it's this fight of Ecuadorians against Ecuadorians. But in the end, you have people, most of the people didn't support the paro, but they were not going to act with the same level of strength against the protesters. But now they're suffering double because people are not going to those areas. So hopefully this will change in a couple of weeks. We are entering the Christmas season now, and the government is like making advertisement for people to go visit these areas, and I hope they can visit. And if you are planning to visit these areas of the north of the country, do it because they really need it. I made some videos on my other channel, Build Dev Tours, of what you can do in Otavalo, in Cotacachi. But of course, if you want something that we organize for you, you can contact me through the tour operator as well, Build Dev Tours, BILDEV Tours. And that would be my update for now. Well, the before finishing is during the next 2 weeks, we'll be talking about elections because we're going again to elections on November 16th. That's for answering 4 questions. Basically, the president wants to change laws and even wants to make a new constitution, which could create a new republic. And we're voting yes and no. But I'll talk about that in another video. Not here, but that will be the next topic during the next 2 weeks. Insecurity, maybe you want to know. Just let me know what you want to watch in the videos, what you want to hear. But, well, this is the Colón Salinas. I think Hilton is not managing this anymore, but they were managing it before. I saw some crabs they hit already. But, well, from Salinas, I'm going to have breakfast now, and then I have to meet someone for work later. And I hope you enjoy this view. If you'd like to know more about this area, you let me know. This is the Pacific Ocean, the coastal region. It was a 6-hour drive from Cuenca. Actually, less than 6 hours. The driver went fast. It was like 5 hours and a half drive overnight. And let me know what you would like to know about the country, about Ecuador, about the current situation. I read your comments, I follow up, and hope you're well, wherever you are. And we'll be meeting in the next video to talk about political situation and other things that are happening in Ecuador. But for the moment, if you're planning to come for an exploratory trip all throughout the country, you can do it. If you need help with that, remember, you can let me know as well. So, see you in the next video. Bye-bye.